Welcome to the Morphtastic podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to the Morphtastic podcast, people. It's George, your host from Elite Geckos. We've got our co-host today, Peter from PM Geckos. We've got a man in demand today. It's Texas Kid Reptiles, Christian. Thank you for coming onto the show today, Christian.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
So starting off, Christian, this is the question I always ask at the start. So how did it all start for you? When did you get into breeding reptiles? I know you've been breeding other animals. So how did it all sort of start for you?
Oh, man. I grew up with animals. I grew up the farm life, ever since I was since I was old enough to carry like a feed bucket. My dad had me out there feeding chickens and going to give alfalfa to the rabbits, to the goats. And so ever since I was old enough to walk safely, my dad would make me go do some chores outside, go work with those animals. And yeah, it just grew on me. When you do it every day, you just learn to love it. Seeing animals grow from baby to adult, it was like just fascinating just to watch life and see the progress. How I just love seeing that progress. So if it takes feeding them every day, feeding them right, the best that you can give them, and it's all worth it to me. But yeah, and then after that, I wasn't really into reptiles till I was out of high school. Well, in high school was when my my fascination kind of started. My buddy, he got a bearded dragon, and he had like two tortoises. And I'd go over play and we'd be playing Xbox, right? And he'd be chilling with a bearded like on his shoulders. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Right.
And I wanted to always hold it, but I was always scared. And then one day he just put it on me, and I just was like, wow, I'm doing it.
I love it.
Don't
Yeah,
eat me.
because growing up, my dad he always he was like, every snake that we saw, we kind of had to go after because they go for the chickens, the chicks. So we grew up like that, but obviously it's that narrow mindset. But luckily, as I grew up, I learned to appreciate all animals, not just the farm, but everything in life has a purpose. So these snakes, these reptiles, it's just fascinating. And luckily, I was able to open my eyes and just. Because this hobby is wonderful, man. It's like there's so many different species. They all have personalities, and it's just fascinating just to see each individual animal, and they each have that personality, and it's just cool. Yeah. So when I started holding that bearded dragon, it just grew on me, right? We'd be playing Xbox, and he'd be chilling on me. So of course, I ended up going to get my own bearded dragon, but at the time, I got him from a pet store, so he didn't last long. So it's like you live and you learn. But yeah, I mean, it started with a beard.
It gave you that fire that we all get it. Like all it takes is once you've gone to that one show or that one reptile store and they get you out an animal and you're holding it. It's that you all of a sudden you start feeling your scales come out. Like I want them. Yeah. So that's similar with Kristen.
And so around what age were you when you got your first leopard gecko?
I was already moved out. I was already living on my own. So I was about 20. I forget. I'm wrong. Let's do this. So it's 2013. So back right before COVID, 2020. So late 2019, early 2020.
And how did it start off? Did it start off with just getting one or two? Did you get a pair? Or
I got a pair. No, I think I got three. Dude, I started buying them quick, man.
You got the bug. The bug kicks in quick. Yeah.
Well, the first geckos that I bought off of was from my local buddy. He turned out to be my best friend, my partner. We'll talk about him more later. It's Aaron. At the time, he was Cenozoic Reptilia, and dude, I found a Craigslist ad. And I was just I don't know, I was just trying to see what was out there. I don't know. And then I saw a leopard gecko, and then I was like, oh, cool. So I hit him up, and then he had amazing geckos. I would have never expected to find such crazy geckos on Craigslist, like such quality.
Yeah.
So he started giving me prices and stuff, and he had so many options. And immediately when I saw pictures, I was like, "Whoa, these things are sick! These are insanely cool." So I don't know. And then that's when I started doing research, right? So for like 3 whole days, I just researched the morphs that he sent me, and I was just like going hard, like every possibility. Because me in like growing up, I was a collector, like I collected cards, I collected trading cards, and I just as soon as I see something that I like, it's like I gotta have it.
I need 10 of them as well.
Yeah, I have that addictive kind of personality, but I think that we all do. Which
yeah, definitely, I definitely do, sure.
It can be a bad thing, but I mean, as long as it's something positive, it's like there's nothing wrong with it. So, but yeah, I mean, that's how it started. And then I acquired my 2 or 3 geckos. Like I say, I forgot. I think it was 3. It was let me name them off. If I name them off, I'll remember. It was Max Snow, Rainwater, Typhoon, Het Cyclone, male, and then I bought high contrast reverse stripe Max Snow Tremper.
Okay.
That was the one that kind of got me hooked. Was the reverse stripe Tremper. When I got her, it was like I knew that I was gonna breed her. Like she was too cool.
Yeah, there was like no joke about that.
Because you have like a breeder's mindset as well, with obviously the other stuff you've done with your farming and stuff.
True, actually, yeah.
Did you probably had what we didn't have at the start? Like when I first started breeding, it was just putting 2 geckos together. Where you're probably looking at these geckos already thinking, what can I do? How can I improve the stripe? Do you know what I mean? So did that work with you as well?
Yeah, exactly. Since, like I say, I started breeding animals real young. I used to breed rabbits. So when I was young, I already had like 5 lines, 5 different breeds like of rabbits, and I was breeding those already successfully. So yeah, I had that same mindset. Like, what can I do with these? So yeah, pretty much, guys.
Would you say
it's fascinating?
Would you say Aaron from CNA Reptilia was almost like a mentor for you in your first? Like, we all needed that. I was talking to Peter off camera. Yeah. I had a good mentor at the start, like because it's a very hard hobby to get into. So was it? I'm assuming you had someone like Aaron there, under your wing, giving you advice.
Yeah, Aaron was always like in my corner. He always gave me the best options for like picking up geckos. Like he would give me options of pairs, like of pairs that were going to set me up for success. So him just doing that showed his true passion, and he's just a genuine person, and he cares about what he was selling you. So I ever since I saw him doing that, it's like I could tell that he cares about me, about my plans, and it's just a cool thing. And that's how you find those good friends.
So you can read people off right away too. You got me? Like he probably read you off right away, and he's like, dude.
Oh
like all people, they need a good start. Like if you're starting off in the hobby, a good start with a good plan is the way to go. Yeah, I mean, like there's no better.
It saves a lot of time. Yeah, exactly, and it saves time. It saves money for the person. But yeah, I mean, he always hooked me up with the best, and like I say, he was fair with me with the prices. So I just kept going back to him. It's like that's great business. So you got to take care of good friends like that, because I never knew that he would have been my start into this whole thing, and I'm grateful to be where I'm at now. I'm grateful to be here because he set me up for that, and we turned out to be great partners. So yeah, he's a great guy.
That's awesome, man. While we're on the subject with Aaron, if you don't mind us asking, how did, because I know you accumulated Aaron's collection and these projects. How did it all sort of come about? Like, did these projects work with you, with your projects? That's hence why you took the leap. Because I know you were really good friends beforehand. So in a way, it'll be like me if I was going to sell my collection. Probably someone like Peter or Jay, if they wanted it, they would be the first to get it. If that makes sense. Does that how did it sort of work for you?
Well, it was like, I think that he asked me first, just because we had already partnered up on previous deals, like for ball python. So we were already. He knew that he could count on me if he called on me, and if I needed something, he would pull through for me. So he called on me, and I didn't hesitate. It's like I maybe thought about it for like a night, for like one day, but I hit him up right away because at that time I had already produced like 60 animals that year. Sold most of them except holdbacks. So I sold like 50 animals, and that already gave me the confidence to not even worry. It's like I was fully confident in my ability that I could take the collection over and just progress it. And not, I wasn't really worried. I had full confidence in myself because I've done other small like endeavors. I used to have a plant shop. I used to do a lot of stuff. So I had a storefront at one point. So I'm confident in my ability to work hard enough, and I knew that I could handle that challenge because I was already headed in that direction. Maybe not as fast, but man, how could I not turn down a collection?
An opportunity arise, which
yes,
you could not turn down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was already thinking about going all in because of course I had the ball pythons too, and I was already hatching out clutches. So I had proved it to myself, like I can do this breeding stuff, like if I really put my heart and soul to it. So the collection that I acquired was just the cherry on the top. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any plans of like you continuing any of like Aaron's projects, or was that you acquiring his collection just completely like now it blew your mind and now you're gonna like make some other new projects that spark new projects up with you or anything like that?
No, well, luckily since I was acquiring from him mostly, I would. So how I see it is, I was working one way and he was going this other way, but we're doing similar projects. We thought so alike. There were projects like I'll show some later. Some were, unless you guys want me to pull them out now, I don't know.
Yeah. While makes sense. So anyone watching this, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you will be able to see the geckos on YouTube.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, like I say, we had similar projects. So the way I would do it is we're working with like different males, but like sisters, like of the similar project, because he had his holdbacks that he produced and then I bought some. So they kind of cross back good to each other because that's how line breeding works. And with a little outcross, but then you bring them back. They have those still. You have those tight gene pools, so you start getting nice stuff. Like this is a fireball, a white and yellow fireball crossed to a rainbow stripe.
Stunning.
That's beautiful.
That Aaron had produced. Now let me show you. Let me put her back real quick.
Do you find, as a breeder, while you got the gecko there, because I noticed it's got quite a nice structure to it. Is that something else you look into your breeding? Do you go by structure as well?
Yeah. Coming from the poultry breeding, it's all about structure. The body conformation is something that you have to select for because it's very important when you're breeding animals. You want to give them that vigor that they should have. Their structure. I feel like every breed should have a standard of the animal. How, like the head structure, the leg angles. I feel like everything should have that because that's where I come from, is from strict rules. Like like some of the chickens like that I breed, you have to have a certain length like of a leg.
Yeah.
So like they can't have like legs over 3 inches. So all that you have to breed for that structure. And a lot of people don't take that into account. But I mean,
I was just going to say, it gets undershadowed.
Like some of those inbred geckos, like black knights, like you can tell, like their structure, they just look weak, like they look anemic. But with crosses, you mostly get like some robust geckos. So this is he's a little more on the tangerine side, but I produced this one from pretty much the similar pairing, but a different male. And now this male is going to cross back with that other one that I just showed it's going to fit like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And you see that he's a little more faded out right now, but he's got that full red stripe. So
that's a good
pairing. Cool thing.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's little things like that where great minds think alike, So,
but also you both will naturally have there'll be stuff Aaron likes that you might not necessarily like. So I understand what you're saying, that we've got joint projects, but there's Aaron has his side of the project, and I have my side of the project. Like there
Yeah,
might be
his vision. Yeah,
like your vision
Sure.
is I like the stripes, but Aaron's might be I like the head stamp. But you're still working on the
Sure.
same project, but you both have
Same
like the
genes.
different. Yeah, you like the different variants.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the beautiful thing. Our collections fit really well. But yeah, I mean, as a breeder, we all select for different traits that we all like. So I mean, the selection is going to be different for everyone, and what you do with those animals, that's up to you. But I mean, we're the artists, but so that's how it goes. You just gotta work with what you like. But I was just lucky that everything that he liked, I pretty much fell in love with.
Yeah,
So,
everybody felt pretty happy. Yeah, it kind of works
so
out.
yeah,
Definitely.
but yeah, I mean, I could keep showing geckos. I could show more later, spaced out.
Yeah,
You guys
show
tell me.
maybe like another pair.
Okay, let me show you. Let me show you some bangles.
Yeah, perfect.
The I fell in love with the bangles. Well, let me start with I have different examples of bangles right here. So the bangles are from Bold and Bright, Rudy. They're pretty much like bold tangerines, fire bold crosses. Pretty much just like just bold tangerines.
Mhm.
But it's kind of Rudy's his signature line. So this would be like a pure bangle right here.
Beautiful. You're stunning.
Yeah.
So she kind of has like the firebolt style, but she's more on the yellow side. Some of them can hatch out really tangerine. Some can look more on the yellow side. So I really like that slight variance. So I'm gonna work her towards more that yellow side, and then watch. Let me show you.
I see a lot of people are starting to work towards
with
the
it.
yellow stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first got into the scene back in 2016, yellow was a big thing. There's a lot of high yellows. Now people are sort of deteriorated from the yellow and going more onto the tangy stuff. But yeah, it's nice to start seeing people working with the yellow stuff again.
Yeah.
I agree with that as well. I kind of like that people work on the yellow stuff. I think also this person working with like trying to get yellow instead of carrot tail, it's like yellow tail. That'd be pretty sick too.
Oh, that's stunning.
That's lovely.
Beautiful.
So
yeah.
Oh, he's chomping on my finger. Well, this is a male right here that we got from a Bengal cross to a reverse stripe cotton candy raptor. So he's going to be leading some future projects that we're going to cross back to another similar female from the year prior that already has the same genetic cross. So luckily that's one of the projects that Aaron was already thinking ahead on. So now I just need to finish that project. But that was the cross between the Bengal and the reverse stripe cotton candy raptor. So hopefully this year we'll get the first Bengal raptor. So we'll see how it goes. But
beautiful.
And then we'll see if it comes out with a cotton candy side, like on the pinkish side. We'll see how it goes.
And it might even lure Aaron back into the game. Yeah. Come on, Aaron.
Yeah.
Look
Dude,
what
I hope he does, bro. I hope he does come back.
I have a lot of respect for Aaron. He's one of the most humble people I know. Yeah.
Most humble people you'll ever meet. And I told him, dude, when you're ready, you name it. Anything's yours. You just tell me when. So
I love those kind of relationships in the hobby. That's what it's all about. It's like there's been geckos with me and Peter. I'm like, Peter, man, that G Project clown. He's like, bro, take it.
Yeah, especially with my friends, it's for sure
stunning.
Oh, it's stunning, bro. Dude, I love bolts. They get me like
this is another.
That is my thing.
That's another Bengal right there. So I've got a couple like that. They're going to be leading that pure Bengal line. But with fresh blood, so we'll see how it goes, man. So I mean,
I thought it had bandit in it.
What's that?
I thought it how it looks. I thought it might have had like bandit or like maybe it gives me that look of almost like a bumblebee bandit. You know the old school.
Well, in Bengal there is bandit and Halloween mask in the lineage.
Yeah. So
there is.
I'm going to show you. This is an example of the bandit. Look at that. But that's Bengal right there. That's Bengal. I got offered big money for this male, but I turned it down.
Yeah.
I would too.
That's stunning. Even with those lavenders on the sides as well.
Yeah, those little breaks.
Yeah.
I love
Beautiful.
that.
So he's going to be a very important male for us here, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, I've got a lot of good options, so fingers crossed.
That's what it's. How are you finding? I know I work with Red Diamond, and I know Peter's worked with Red Diamonds. Do you like working with the Red Diamond stuff? I know from what I've done so far, it works really well as a cross. Some tangerines cross together, just sometimes they can be a bit meh. But Red Diamond seems to be a good line to cross because everything I'd cross with it comes out very nice. Have you seen similar things?
Yeah, definitely. I crossed them to Firebolt. I crossed them to let me show you my male Red Diamond. So I crossed them to Firebolt. What else did I do? To some bold tangerines. But this is the male Red Diamond. I got him from Wally from Hard Rock Leopard Geckos. But he's produced nothing but fire. So
that needs some stonewash.
Yeah, yeah. So that Red Diamond stuff crosses good with a lot of stuff. I mean, everything that it throws, it just throws those bright burnt pattern down the back. I just love it. So
what I also like with Red Diamond as well is I don't know whether you've noticed the first year or two with my ones anyway. It might not necessarily be the same for you, but with my Red Diamonds, the first year or two they're really bright. And when they start to go into their third, fourth year of age, they dilute. But that benefits me. They go into like a stonewash look. I don't know if you've seen the Red Diamond. They go like into this pastel, and I love it. That's the look I absolutely love.
Nice. That stonewash. I've seen it. I love that. I love that look. So
yeah. I might have to send.
You can bring some. I know.
100%.
So I want to talk about the roosters, bro, because of my Cuban heritage. I grew up in a household where we had at least 15 or 17 little rooster figurines. So I grew up loving roosters. So I got to know how you started off with that. And if you want to tell me how from you breeding your roosters, how that transitioned into you breeding your leopard geckos.
Sure. Roosters, I grew up with them, like carrying a feed bucket, man. I would just fascinated just seeing how prideful of an animal those roosters are. There's no animal that's more proud and more honorable than a rooster. I think that they're very respectable animals. And my dad always told me that there's a lot that you can learn from the rooster. My dad would just be walking outside one day, and then he'd tell me, "Look at that rooster right there. He's walking proud. He's singing loud. He's everything that a rooster should be, and everything that a man should be. A rooster, he's a man. It's an animal of honor. Like, you know, he's gonna defend his territory. He's gonna protect his woman, his hen, and he's got to be the loudest. He's got to be the proudest. He's got to be the prettiest. That's just they have a certain confidence to them that I just love seeing. It's just, and so I always say that if I had like a spirit animal, I'd be a rooster.
It'd be the rooster.
Yeah. What you said's true. When you see them, they do sort of walk with like
they perk up. Yeah.
Like, this here is mine. That's really true. I like that.
Yeah. So it's those little farm lessons that you know, my dad like instilled in me that made me appreciate animals. Like, you know, him just like that stuff that's a memory that I'll never like forget. And it just made me appreciate animals that were in my backyard. And you learn to be proud of what you have and what you work with and what you've acquired, because it takes a lot of work. You just don't get 200 roosters out of nowhere. You have to produce those roosters. And with those roosters, the selection's really tough because it's different coming from the poultry world. Because like in geckos, if anything were to hatch out, like say with the chick, if it has a crooked toe, if it has an eye defect, usually those are culls. Like, you know, we've got to put those animals down. And it's different because for them it's a matter of animal welfare. If it has crooked toes, that rooster is not going to be able to ever roost right. So he's going to be struggling his whole life. So we look at it at a different way. So usually those get culled. coming from a strict breeding programs as a young kid, it's just like I learned the importance of working with good stuff. And but with geckos, you can eliminate that by working with the genetics that are like top tier. But yeah, I mean the selection's different. So I look at geckos very strict. Like, you know, if it doesn't meet like a standard, I'm gonna sell the gecko, which that's how I am. I'm real strict. And then I breed showbirds too. So when I have an animal judged, it's got to be the best that I could produce that year. Like, you know, so out of like 100 chickens, 100 chicks, we'd only end up with maybe half of them. And then that's how strict. Like it would be. Yeah. And those animals don't go to waste. Of course, we give them to like family friends that would butcher them, and they get used.
Yeah.
So technically, ethics are different, but I mean, technically, it's the most ethical thing, and that's why roosters are so advanced, and they're the most pure that they are now than in the past. Because if they have defects, they're not going to get put out there, so people can't reproduce more substandard animals.
Yeah, they won't muddy the waters.
Exactly. If not, everything just declines, and we're gonna have basically mongrels is what we call roosters that are crossed. So yeah, the breeding's really different, but I feel like coming from a strict background of breeding, I have like different views on how to handle like a breeding program, because we bred animals pure. Like my dad has had roosters for 50 years that he bred pure, and he never added outside blood. So it takes a real skilled breeder to be able to achieve that and to keep a line pure. So I just fell in love with those roosters, because like my dad would tell me, look, you see that rooster right there? That rooster was owned. Well, that line was owned by I forgot what president, but in the 1700s, you know, like in the 1790s, the president raised those game fowl on the White House lawn, like, you know, or something like that. So we have lines, some crazy history, and they've been bred pure for 200 plus years, and it was fascinating to me.
That's amazing. Do you get the same sort of issues with reptiles though, with the birds? I think I had this conversation with you before. I know, like, I everything when I see the, like, with geckos, when I see the term like pure, I always say most projects that are pure have had to have. This is with geckos. Something has had to been put into it to start with geckos. 5-6 years, we got to sort of add new blood to, you know, prevent the defects and the the bad blood and the fertility, etc. Do you get that with the chickens as well? Do you have to add something new, or is it completely different?
No, like we can run the same family for 200 years without issue. You just got to know how and when to back cross, when to. But as far as inbreeding depression, it's not really noticeable. If things were to occur, like if they were too inbred, like it wouldn't affect the structure like of a bird or an animal. So the only thing is that it would affect is like fertility. But as a breeder, that's how you have to know when to back off and when you can inbreed. Like, you know. That's the part of working with animals. It comes with experience. So inbreeding, it's basically to bring out the defects, like, you know, the way we see it. When you inbreed, say like a brother and a sister, I'm ready to get technical, guys.
You disgusting.
I love talking breeding. I could talk it all day. So say if you inbreed a brother and a sister, you might get a couple defects, but you're going to get the top 10% from that pairing, because you're selecting the best example from the pairing. So you take the best ones, and then you start working with those, and then you can work those down, say like the dad's side, or you can work them down the mom's side, and you start to run two separate lines but adjacent, and then that's how you can run these lines. And then if you do have to back cross, you just cross it. But I mean, it's fresh blood because it's going outside, like, you know.
Gotcha.
So the breeding is a little different, but I feel like a lot of people worry about inbreeding stuff. I mean, you have to know that inbreeding is for a purpose. It's like
100%.
You have to select the best one, and then you work from that, and then because selection is like the little details, like, you know, the banding, the stripes, the head stamp. You can work with anything. So you can breed for anything. If you want geckos with the chubbier head, you can select the geckos with a chubbier head and or the wider head. It's like, and people don't know that, but it just takes those little. It takes that eye for the detail. Because like with the chickens, you can breed for the position of the legs on the body. You can move them to the front. You can move them to the back to give them that taller stance. And it's just that's all polygenic. So that's they're measurable traits. So stuff like that you can breed towards, and we also breed towards things like immunity to illness.
That's
So
crazy. How
like
mad's that?
So we're really strict when it comes to our breeding. So we don't breed any sick animals. So if a bird sneezes like a cold, he gets cold because we don't want to breed weak animals. And the chickens are at the point where I don't hear anyone sick. I haven't heard anyone sick in like forever. But we've already
terrified.
bred.
Like, don't kill me.
But yeah, it's like no. But the result is no sick chickens. So it's like you have animals that aren't going to get sick.
It's the best, yeah. So you're like, right, this is the best egg layer. This is the I know, yeah.
Exactly.
It makes total sense.
Exactly.
It does, but that's crazy to think you can get to that level of line breeding that you can prevent things like health, like with sicknesses and stuff.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is really crazy.
Cool. Yeah,
that is
so
crazy.
I believe that's true with reptiles to a certain extent. I haven't personally seen it because I'm barely starting, but well, not starting, but you know what I mean. It takes more time to be able to see it. But I feel like if someone were to test like immunity like on these reptiles, like it's a measurable trait is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have different views like on breeding stuff. So I mean, they may be controversial to most breeders what their standard is, but that's you have to always like evolve. Like don't be afraid to try breeding methods from something else because it may implement and it may work out good. And you learn to evolve, so it's pretty cool. I love talking breeding.
Like you said earlier, you said that line breeding it sometimes gets spoken down on, and that's absolutely right. It's like if you buy anything from a pure like Black Knight or Red Diamond, soon as you made that purchase, people are already going, do you know about the infertility? Do you know about it's so heavily line bred? But how mutations are made is through line breeding. That's how we get most of our stuff, especially with the poly stuff. Like a tangerine has started. Every leopard gecko wasn't a tang; it got line bred. Someone got one with a little bit of orange, line bred. Line bred is basically everything that what we are in geckos. So I just think it does get frowned upon because I do see it all the time. I do think there should be appropriate crossing, especially with stuff like super snows.
Yeah.
You see structural issues and stuff like that, and that there's in I think it's the Ham show are thinking of potentially banning super snow clips. Like super snow clips is a morph from way past our time, and now. But I think that the issue with super snow clips is that's our doing. That's us breeding the bad structures and things like duck face and stuff is something that's due to us breeding. And if you produce a duck face, that shouldn't be. I'm not saying some people do sell duck faces and it ain't an issue, but if you want to prevent that, you got to nip it in the bud. Same with like white and yellows. If you've got one with a spin, stop it there, and then there's no more issues continued. So yeah, I like that point you picked up on 100%. So going with photography, Christian, how do you, if you don't mind me, I love your photos. Your photos are crisp. Every animal is a standout. It doesn't matter what the animal is, what the morph is. Every animal is treated delicately, and how you take your photos. That's how I see it. So it'd be nice to hear more about your photography, how you go about your photography. What do you use? And interesting.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I love my photography, man. I get addicted to everything that I do. I dive deep into everything. So I'm not a rich man, so I had to work with what I had. I knew that I was gonna have to start taking better photos of my animals, so I made the investment. I had to sell a motorcycle that I had sold it to buy a camera, but
Must
it
love
was
your
the best
geckos.
investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's one of the
Investment.
best investments I've ever made, besides rack systems. But yeah, I mean, I use a Nikon D3500. It's
Nice.
nothing fancy. You can find one of these now for like $500 or $600. Um, I use a couple different lenses depending on the gecko. I use a Nikkor. It's a 50 millimeter and a 35 millimeter
Okay.
prime lens. So no zoom. So you pretty much have to use your distance like as a zoom.
That's what it is.
So
Yeah, that's what it
yeah,
is.
but depending on the size gecko, I'll use like a 50 millimeter or a 35. But yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna have their preference like on lenses, but I like those prime lenses. Um, they seem to get those real crisp shots.
Mm.
If you go with a prime lens, I think that's going to be your best bet. I'm no expert, but that's what I like. I've tried zoom lenses, and when you start zooming in, you have to make adjustments to aperture and stuff because at a certain zoom, you can't go down to a certain aperture. Oh, I could talk about this all day too. So, but yeah. I mean, I use that camera. I prefer uh continuous lighting, so I use a photo booth setup.
Mm.
Nice.
But it's a DIY. It's not one of those boxes that you go buy like on Amazon. I tried those and they give you real soft images. They don't come out crisp. So I threw that in the trash pretty much.
Yeah,
But
I had one. All the pictures came out blue.
yeah, they do.
Yeah,
And
me too.
it's
I
a
used
it's
it
a
twice. I was
waste
like,
like
nope.
of money. It's a waste of money, and I could send you guys photos, but I use tripods
Mm.
as
Okay.
mounts for and I use just those silver lamps that have clamps where you can mount them like onto things,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I
yeah, okay.
run.
Like going to get a Home Depot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly those, and then or like for the chicken breeders, like those silver ones, like those will get the job done. And I run four of them, two in the front, two in the back, and then one studio light over the top, which is those big bright ones that the photography people use. But those lamps only cost like $60, and then the smaller lamps are like $6, and then the light bulbs $5. So
Yeah.
you can have a way better lighting setup with like $100 pretty much. So I tell people don't waste time with those soft boxes because I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a waste. But the geckos they deserve like your full effort. Whenever I do things, I give it like my all. I want
Mm.
the results to speak for itself. But that lighting setup seems to work good. With my camera, I can shoot at ISO 100, which is the same thing as shooting outside, like in the daylight. You would pretty much shoot at ISO 100. So I don't know. I mean, but to each like their own. I mean, I know some people like the daylight photos, like on a nice overcast day and stuff. Those are the best photos. On an
Mm.
overcast day, the geckos look beautiful. But I don't know. I just like everything to be consistent, so I just use my studio
Yeah,
setup.
kind of be
Yeah.
the best way to go.
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
be a bit like OCD. Like when I see Kristen's Instagram, I like everything being the same. Like if you scroll down on my Instagram, you'll see I go through like phases where I use a certain backdrop and I like things being the same. So I can appreciate when someone's got everything looking the same because I know it's hard. It could be hard. Like
Like very uniform.
yeah. But would you guys
yeah.
say that it's definitely worth the investment in going out and getting yourself a new camera? You know, you haven't got you can get a Canon or something for £300, or like Christian said in USA, you can get $400-500, then some lights. I always say to people, it actually will add more money onto your animal. Like if it comes down to like having an experience from buying from somebody. So if you buy from a breeder and you got a photo of it in a tub, there's gecko droppings everywhere. It's just not very professional. Whereas if you got that gecko out, put it in a setup, camera, some nice lighting, it makes the world of a difference.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it sells itself in a way.
yeah.
Exactly.
It pays itself off easy, and you have to set yourself out to look like a professional. At a certain point, if you're producing a certain number of animals, you have to come off as a professional. You have to
Mm.
in everything that you do, you have to put effort into it. Like you can tell the people that they just post stuff real quick. They'll snap a pic, but uh, I'm a little more OCD, like you, George. It's just like you have to. It's got to be perfect. If not, like, why am I doing it? Like, if it's not perfect, it's a waste of time. So
100%. If it's not right, what's the point uploading it? Or if you don't think it's right, then the people that are viewing are not going to think it's right. Oh,
when you got
stunning!
geckos, when you got geckos that are as pretty as these with stripes like those, you got to give them.
Damn, look at that! Look at that stripe and how thick it is as well.
For everyone listening on the podcast, he's showing off a reverse stripe, and it's insane.
That's stunning.
That stripe is literally pink. Yeah, that's from the Cotton Candy Project. So that's why she has that pink stripe. But
so Cotton Candy Project is Art Gecko's project, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are
you able to explain a little bit more? I love, every time I see it, I love Art Gecko stuff. I look at his photography and think to myself, how the hell do you get every single bloody gecko in the same position?
Ben will forever have the title of best photos. He's a master of it. And I try to achieve a level like that, but I'm still not there. But with practice, hopefully we can all get there. It's just you got to get those shutters in, like, take those photos.
No, it's amazing because he posted He posted a photo the other day where it was like the hatchling in a certain position, and then a year later, the adult in the same position.
Yeah,
that's
artwork. Yeah,
like literally exactly the same.
Time and dedication. Think how long we spend.
Photos.
Think how long we spend trying to get that one gecko in that one position, and then think about him we're talking about even the legs are in the same spot.
It's everything. It was exact.
He's a magician.
He must have so much patience. The patience must be like a Jedi.
No, yeah, but Art Geckos is the man. Ben's a genetic wizard. But the Cotton Candy Project, it's basically just he described it as pink raptors. So if I don't want to get it wrong, I've got to check what the messages that we've had, but it derived from a line of super hypo raptors, and then they were crossed with certain high contrast projects that he had, and it's pretty much a combination of white and yellow, high contrast, and that super hypo that gives him the pink, that pink phenotype. So yeah, it's pretty much his signature little project. But he only released it to certain people, and Aaron got his hands on them, and then I got my hands on them. So we're just trying to protect that line, see what we can do with it. It's nothing fancy, but it's just one of those lines that you respect from a certain person, and you just want to be a caretaker of it, because I feel like Ben gets like a bad rap, and that couldn't be further from the truth. He's a great guy. So I just want to push that project as far as we can.
Definitely. Like you said, it's really important to keep some lines protected. I liked what you said there. It's like, I'm like Peter with my stonewash. I make sure it goes to the right person. It takes away the not the hobby side, but the breeding side, where if someone inquires something, you more want to push to sell something. Yeah. But with my stonewash, I am very particular because it is such an old and rare, unique line that I know I don't want it to get put into the wrong hands and it be ruined in a way. So yeah, like you said, it's keeping it protected. I like that's the perfect word to use, is to keeping something protective.
Exactly. And so we're doing crosses with the Cotton Candy Project, but we're also running it. Whenever I breed projects, I breed something to preserve that lineage. So I'll be running one line, and then I'll be doing a sub line on the side of crosses, but derived from your original seed, from that seed line, the foundation.
Gotcha.
So
that's what I'm doing too. I kind of do that with my G projects.
Yeah, and if you're crazy good and you can manage projects, you can keep that foundation and you can run 2 or 3 lines based off that one line. Say if you have something out that's banded, you work with a banded line, and then you have stuff with a stripe, you can work that line, and then one with a jungle line, but based off that foundation.
Yep.
Because
Gotcha,
that foundation's gonna, that gene pool is gonna throw you various phenotypes over those years, and you can select them and just work them as the different lines. It's, oh my gosh, I'm ready to talk breeding all night.
Yeah, you clearly
That's
really
the fun of it.
enjoy it.
Like, I mean, that's how we got hooked into it. You know what I mean? It's just like how the different things that can come out of it, and the combinations, and just one slight different thing could just like make the whole different outcome, or just keeping something how it is.
Every gecko we get is, in a way, it's a blank canvas to something special. Because of that one gecko, you could lead on to so many different projects. You know, I'm pretty sure there's people out there with like that have one gecko, and that one gecko has thrown this, made that line, and you know what I mean. So it's a crazy way of looking at it. Like you could even with tangerines are like known for it. I could have two hypo tangs, pair them together, and then I'm getting jungles and stripes, and then they can go and lead their own path. Like people who like striped projects will could buy some of that and put that into their stripe projects, and that produce some stripe projects. And that's crazy. That's crazy. But there's a lot more to breeding that meets the eye.
Oh yeah, especially with like line breeding.
And you learn every year too. Like once you start to pair like a female maybe twice, you can tell what she's going to produce you. Like, you know, so then you can so knowing that, you can utilize her in a certain way to produce certain style offspring. So it's just stuff that you learn as you go, and you learn your animals, what's in their gene pool, and you work with that. So breeding's cool, man. It's like science. It's like it's amazing.
Crossing seems to be like when I go through your Instagram, there's a lot of like crosses, and I see like, are you all about the crosses? I mean, I love a cross. When a cross works, I mean, they sometimes even look better. I've seen some of Peter's Clown G project stuff. I know it's sort of in the same pool, but they're amazing. So the stuff people are doing with crosses now, like a Bengal, that is literally a mixture of crosses of bold tangerines and stuff. Look what it's made. So
you can put your own spin on it.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of your stuff is crosses. So I was wondering if crosses was your thing. Are you all about strengthening up and etc.?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love crosses, man? That's when you get the crazy stuff. Like, along with crosses, like say you'll get 10 babies, you'll probably get 2 standouts. But like I say, it's all about the selection. Like, you know, the thing is, you don't keep those other 8. You keep the best 2. You start working that as a line. And I'm a believer that you can make your own line out of anything, out of any cross. So as long as you set those gene pools yourself and you work that project with your vision, that's your line. So that's the way that I look at things. It doesn't have to be labeled pure, but it's pure my line. It's because it was my vision. And I know that it's a different viewpoint coming from the gecko, like the standard, because people use like the name game, like they'll use certain breeders' names attached to their project. But I'm a believer in if you acquire geckos, those are your projects now. So I'm not gonna, like, I've got geckos that are from big names, but I don't put labels on them. Oh, it's this lineage. If someone asks me, I'm gonna tell them. But if they ask me what lineage, I think that's my lineage. It's my vision. It's my vision. So that's my line.
Yeah.
So it's just another. I come from a different style breeding. So
I was going to say, is that with your chicken side of things? Because it's an interesting, like, that's how I with my super giants and stuff. To say that it's come from a certain line helps me with that animal, if that makes sense. So it's interesting to hear your take to say that, you know, I've got this animal. This is now my project. Now this is what I'm working with. So it is different to hear your take on that. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Would you say, like I say, would you say you took that from the chicken sort of thing as well?
Exactly, because selection is going to be different for each person. So say like it's from a famous breeder from XYZ, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be the same line, because that line stops the day that the breeder sells that gecko to you, because he's no longer selecting for the project, for the traits that you currently have. So it's like the vision's different, so that line is technically different. Which the ancestry is there, but technically it's a different line once a different person gets their hand on it, because not everyone's gonna select like XYZ breeder where like you got it from. So every
Yeah, but
time
you're
that
meaning
you
like
get
like in crosses though, right? Like, so for example, like if
yeah
I were to get like a red diamond, the minute I cross that red diamond, that's it, it's my project. But what if I have a red diamond and I got it another red diamond and I'm reproducing red diamonds? Would you still say that it's from their lineage?
it's still a cross. It's still a cross. If it unless it's from the exact same
As I'm saying, if you got like two red diamonds
direct
from like the
family,
same breeder that are pure red
yeah.
diamonds,
Oh, okay.
and you're reproducing
If
them,
they're pure.
Yeah.
Okay,
which,
so like if they're siblings, then yeah, it's technically pure. But if there's any cross in there, it's gonna be a cross. I mean, if it's from a
100%.
different breeder, if it's like a red diamond from two different breeders, it's still a cross.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
they're not the same family. They're not the direct, like, you know.
And the two breeders, red diamonds, probably look completely different to one another's as well. Like I've seen
That's
people
what-
the
line
phenotype.
breeding the red
That's what I
diamonds
meant.
for stripes, and you got other ones that are going for the
Yeah.
banded. So that makes sense. So
That's what
yeah,
I meant. Correct. That's what I mean. So you finished it up, George. Perfect.
you are more than welcome.
So
I'm here for this.
I tend to get lost like in thoughts, so I usually never finish like what like the whole message. Like I get lost in it, so it's like perfect.
It's because you're so
But yeah.
you can see you're so proud of what you do, and I think
It's because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
It's like,
with me, when I get so excited about something, I end up just going into like a mumble, and then I actually lose.
Yeah.
You know, that's just us.
Exactly.
We love doing what we do, but the
Which one gets
community,
lost?
the community side to the reptile scene is something that definitely needs to be spoken about with new, because we got a lot of new people that listen to the podcast, and obviously we get a lot of old school breeders, but we would like to know your take on how you take the community, and what advice would you give to people, not just necessarily newbies, but people that are in the game, because of I know naturally people do have their circle of friends, like we all have our own, cliques of friends and stuff, but sometimes knowledge gets kept in those groups and not given out to the others. What's your sort of take on the community and all that stuff?
I think the community is great. We just have to be careful of who we associate with. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. So just be wary of who I don't know who you let in your inner circle. Because like I say, there are good people out there, but there's also those haters. But I mean, you can't give them that much like attention. So like I've heard certain rumors come about me, my partner, but I mean, we just we wake up, we keep doing it every day. Stay positive. Don't worry about other people's projects. Don't be envious. There's no need. Jealousy only holds people back, and it's sad when there's outcasts like in the hobby. Like I don't feel like there should be anyone who should be blacklisted. I feel like that's just wrong. We all need to have open minds. I mean, my thing is just don't do it publicly. Just don't put anyone on blast publicly, because as a professional you just look unprofessional, and and your character shows. So be careful of what you post too, because if you post like on a reptile group, you're a known breeder, like, and you're portraying yourself in that negative aspect. Those people that aren't in this hobby like seriously, that might be wanting to get in, see you like that, and the community it just doesn't look too welcoming, and it's just not a good look. So I feel like we all need to treat others with respect. I grew up a certain way. I'm from Texas, like, you never attack like a person's honor. So as long as you don't get personal about things, like, the community is great. But yeah, there's a lot of jealousy, but we just try to keep it positive. Day by day, we have too many animals that we gotta take care of. So there's other things to be worrying than bickering in these private group chats and stuff. I don't have time to partake in any of that. So other than that, the community is great. I mean, you find great friends. I found a lot of great friends. They turned out to be, like I say, Aaron's my partner, man. Like that guy can call on me all. If I had to fly across like the country, I'd go help him out. I'd fly over there. Like, I don't know. So you do meet those good people, but just be careful of who you let in your circle, because at the end of the day, it's like in the U.S., it's like very competitive. So it's always going to be like that. But it's all about pushing your message, and the change starts within ourselves. So I don't know. Just try and be as humble as you can be. Help others, and the community is great in that aspect, because most people will help you out if you do reach out. But yeah, I mean,
the same with everything though. Like
else?
there's always going to be a negative side to things, but yeah, I don't know why. There's just a different vibe sometimes with leopard, with the great reptile keeping scene. It's like there's a lot of egos and a lot of like narrow mindset people. But always, like you say, it's very important to get into a nice group of like friends. Like you've got a group with obviously Aaron and stuff like that. Like same with me. If I didn't have a couple of breeder friends with me, I wouldn't be where I am. So yeah, 100%. Well, with Peter being here, this is going to be interesting. For Peter living in the UK and being in the USA, would you say there's a big difference, Peter? Because I do see a lot of I do see a lot going on in the USA, but the UK seems different. It's all about marketing and stuff with the UK. Whereas the USA,
the thing is that while Chris
personal.
was talking, it kind of clicked. You get me? Because what happened is that in America, it's a business. You're repping yourself as a business. You know what I mean? Like the same way how earlier when we were talking, how I was telling him how I missed his banner. I saw the banner behind him. I was like, damn, man, I missed that about America. Like how you could go to a show and rep yourself. Where here in the UK, that's frowned upon. You're not supposed to be a business. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be more of just like you're selling your surplus. Like I breed for myself, I'm selling my leftovers that I'm not keeping. Where in America, it is a competition because it's my business I'm fighting for.
You're stepping on my toes. You're breaking. You're taking my bread away from me. Yeah,
and that's where ego comes into play. You get me? But it's funny because the hobby has gotten a lot better because I've been in it since 2014 on and off. And when I first got in, I got in because my family were tied into a pet shop. My dad started up a pet shop. So the minute I go to expos and anything like that, even after I was done with the pet shop, they affiliated me because everyone's local. They would affiliate me with, oh, that's pet shop stuff. Like he has pet shop stuff. You know what I mean? Like I could be like, dude, I got it from Gecko Boa. You know what I mean? Like it's this like
low end. Yeah.
I don't believe. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I was like, all right, like it sucked. So then I kind of completely just went off. And then when I moved here, I was like, all right, let me jump back in again. And let me just like put myself out there. And then it's the same. You get me? You notice that, oh, it's like everyone's cool, but then you start seeing that it's cliquey and it's this and that. But at the end of the day, man, it's just like the size of the UK compared to America, it's different. You know what I mean? So there's definitely going to be a lot more haters. There's definitely going to be a lot more people who are either praising you or hating you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like someone buys a giant, I will know about it because of it's such a we're all stepping on each other's toes. That's stunning. That is beautiful.
We do it for the love of these animals. That's all that matters. It's these animals. So we just got to keep it positive, man. But I don't know. We can't teach everyone, but oh well. In due time, hopefully the community will open up, because I feel like if we're all gonna rise with the tide. I keep saying that's my favorite quote. We all rise with the tide. Like, you know, if we're on the same boat, we're all gonna be good. But if there's people swimming in that water, there's that negativity down there, they're gonna sink. But if we stay on that same boat, we're all gonna rise. So
I feel like Instagram's
the more people that we get in,
I don't see any negativity on Instagram. It's mostly just on Facebook.
Yeah,
it's like a different.
The more people that we get in it, we're good, man. We're gravy.
100%. That with the more people that come in, you know, the more we can, you know, share our projects with, making us have more space to work, more and it's all a win all round. So yeah, definitely. I think
that's the thing. People don't realize the more we're in the only business. Well, it's been said before that we're in the only business where our competition is our client. You know what I mean? So it's like we need more people buying geckos, so they want more geckos, so we could improve our quality. You know what I mean? Well, that's the difference between America and the UK also, because with the numbers, you could produce a lot more and have a lot more breeders. When in the UK, there's not that many breeders.
Stunning.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep, exactly,
That's
guys.
stunning.
So yeah,
What is that, by the way?
this is a Mandarin. Oh, she jumped up.
Mandarin
She's
fly.
gone. She's Mandarin gone. Stunning.
We got her. We got her.
Yeah,
We got her.
she's bright, man.
Always happens on camera,
We got a jumper.
That's absolutely
Yes,
stunning. MT's one of the lines of tangs that just do so well with crossing. So
Yeah,
well.
they do actually.
Even Blood does very, very well. Well, most of them do well, but some of them require a bit more line breeding than others. Like some of them, like Kristen said, like with Blood, I always find you might get like 4 out of 10 that are good, but with other tangerine lines, you might get 2 or 1 absolutely showstopper.
Yeah. That's how the G projects. With the G projects, you breed that, you're probably gonna get like maybe 2-3 bangers, and the rest is gonna be that mediocre stuff where you have to work for it.
Yeah.
But it's all about the ones that you hold back, the selection. So as long as you're choosing the best ones and you work them how you want to work them, that's a red stripe, rainwater.
But at the end of the day, it's funny because it's all opinion. You get me? It's all like, you know how art is just what the eye sees. So what might be like good to us might be bad to someone else.
Yep, the art is it's in the eye of the beholder. Right? That's how it goes. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, that's how it goes.
Absolutely stunning. I like all these animals, and even your snakes. We haven't even spoke about the snakes yet.
Oh my, yeah, the ball pythons. Yeah, those are a whole other project, man. I only have a select few. I ended up cutting back like a lot of breeders because I produced a lot last year, which was a good thing because I had a lot to take to the shows and stuff, and they funded other projects. So the ball pythons definitely helped with reinvestments because right now I'm in the process of building my separate reptile shed from that's out of the house in my backyard. So
a facility, as they would say.
Yeah, a facility yep, pretty much. But hopefully get that done by. I need it done by the summertime. Like I gotta have more space because I want to do so much with the collection that I have. I'm holding back right now. Like I only did like 10 pairings so far, but dude, I can pair up a bunch more. Like, but I'm just holding back. It's just
what came first, the snakes or the geckos?
The snakes actually came first. Well, no, wait. The geckos came first, and then the ball pythons. But then the ball pythons took over, and then the geckos grew. The geckos grew like right here, and they were always just right here. And then I acquired the collection, and then we're just boom. Now the geckos are up here, and the ball pythons are right here. So,
oh man,
it's quite an easy transition, ball python to Leos, though. Like genetically wise, it's like quite very similar.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, now the way that I look at things, I just do calculations like in my head. Like I can calculate the odds and stuff like on the fly. It's just like when you start doing ball pythons, there's over 200 genes like in ball pythons. So you start looking at all these morphs, and you pretty much become you become like a genetic wizard. Like you can pretty much ID stuff just by looking at it. So
what the morphs that you work with?
I have
the projects that you had.
I'm kind of focusing on like the darker stuff now. When I started, I had a lot of pastels, but I already sold all the pastels, man. I produced too many last year, and I was like, I don't want this no more. so I started doing blackhead combinations, which is and then I'm crossing it to hurricane, the hurricane pattern. I love that crazy the tight circles. It's pretty cool. So I'm going for a super blackhead, super hurricane, which would be a super blackhead Hayabusa. That's my goal for this year. Hopefully, if we hit one, the blackhead hurricane, I pulled her out, but I fed her a big meal, so I don't want to mess with her. But you pull her up. If you guys go to my page, she's jet black. She's amazing. And so I'm just trying to hit the supers just to make it even more jet black and more crazy patterns. So
that's cool.
But yeah, and then I've got a hypo clown project, but I barely started that one. So those are like maybe goals for like another year or two. But
Does
yeah,
that mean
just
you
trying to
also
keep.
breed rats as well, or you just buy them frozen already?
Oh shoot, I used to love breeding rats, but when I moved to my new house where I currently am now, it's my first home. I stopped breeding rats because my wife said no more rats in the house. So not till I build my shed out back, then I'll get started again. Because man, the feed bill sometimes it's expensive. Back when I was full throttle, like I'd be spending $200, $300 just on rats for 1 week. So a lot of people don't take that into account when they start breeding stuff. When you produce a lot of ball pythons,
That's a lot of rats.
Yeah, that's a lot of feed, and you have to be profitable selling those animals or other animals to pay for it. So, oh man, we could talk
Sometimes
about
it's
business all
cheaper
day.
to just bulk buy it because, like you say, some people don't
Yeah,
look at the side of you got to feed them. You know, you got to look after them. Like for example, like us, it's not really worthwhile us breeding mealworms. How like cheap they are. I know things are a bit different in the USA. I know you guys have a lot of like shipments and they come bad and stuff. In the UK, we can order mealworms when you can get them in 24 hours.
oh
But
wow,
I've tried to grow my own mealworms, but it just the work that goes
yeah,
into it and the cleaning and it just
it's tedious.
it's just yeah it probably actually isn't worth doing if that makes
It's a
sense.
whole other
Like
job.
I can buy 1 kg of mealworms for like £13.
That's
Do you
the
know what
thing.
I
It's a
mean?
lot cheaper than what it is in America, though. Also, I do it just to like soften that bill, but compared to the
Yeah,
price that you're paying for mealworms in America, it's like half the price. Because, dude,
yeah.
like,
So
okay, so Chris, what do you pay for like 1,000 mealworms?
1,000, like shoot, I like $30, and then but I usually do I do 10,000, so it comes out to like 50 or $60 with shipping. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a lot.
So, dude, and
Jeez.
then that for us, that would be like 15 quid, like 15. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh
like
shoot,
maybe
like
like
nothing.
50. Yeah, it's nothing.
Oh man, no, yeah. The geckos have been hard this year, but luckily I breed my own dubia, so I breed most of them. So sorry, I feed most of them dubia, but for the babies, it's mostly mealworms. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, producing your stuff. If you can do roaches, do roaches. If you can
The
breed
thing with roaches
rats,
is the
breed
invest. It's
rats.
the take. It takes a long time. It's
Yeah,
big
it's true.
space and it's a long time. And the thing is that I don't know how people's stuff is here, but in the UK, it's tight. It's really tight.
Yeah.
So if it's something else you're adding on, it's going to eat space. It's a burden.
Yeah,
But it's
So you
different
have
for
to
Chris. It's
find.
different for Chris because of he has that. He already he's like he gets up early. He feeds his birds and stuff. He already has that. Probably every animal he gets, a bug, anything. How can I breed this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
Do you breed
Pretty
anything
much.
else other than like the reptiles and the roosters? Is there like cows or something or anything else other farm life?
No, I just moved here like 6 months ago, so I've already made a lot of progress, like as it is. But man, stuff's so expensive. I ended up having to redo my whole backyard. It was unlevel, so I had to have landscaping come and level it all out, and it's a lot of land. So that cost me a lot of money. But hopefully this year I'm gonna get some goat pens going, maybe a couple pigs just to start to produce those because I've always wanted to work more with meat goats as I'm looking at working with animals full time, hopefully in the future because I love my job and stuff. I love working on computers. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I love these animals more, and I know that if I put my heart and soul into it, I can live off these animals, not just reptiles, the but
Your
the farm
whole
animals too.
land. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the chickens that I produce, they're called Azteca Bantams. They're the smallest breed in the world, and we're already producing some of those roosters. They go for 300 to like $500, and they sell like pretty readily. Like I'm on these Facebook groups, and these guys are making sales like every day. They're selling like two or three pairs, making $2,000 in the day. So it's like
That's a good job.
I've
It's
yeah.
dude, it's
So
farming, bro. You get me?
for such a tiny little rooster, it's just man, these people buy them, and I'm trying to lead. I'm trying to push that project more because I just need multiple streams of income. That's how farmers work. Like they live off their crop, they live off their cows, their goats. that's how it is. So as long as you set yourself up for it and you're ready to work, I mean, you can do it, man. You can do anything in this life. I did a career day at my job, but it's funny. I thought that they wanted me to do career day for computers, and no, they wanted me to bring in my animals because
That's
the
it.
the librarians, they already know me as the breeder, because like I share my passion with everyone. Like I show everyone my photography, and I'll give them business cards and stuff. Like
That's
so
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did the career day, and my whole message was not everyone has to go to college, not everyone has to be an engineer, not everyone has to be a doctor, lawyer. There's certain people that were meant to work with animals. Without farmers, without stuff like that, like the country couldn't run. So there's a place for everyone in this world, and that was my whole message to these elementary kids. Like, you know, they started calling me the snake farmer, like at work, because because I was giving that message, like, you know, I'm pretty much living off most of these animals, like, you know. So that's how it is, man. You just got to be confident, spread that positive message, show people that you can do anything that you set out to accomplish. It's just
Definitely.
now, just because I see some of these kids as myself, like when they walk up to me, I see the same look that I had like as a kid. So I just I want to reinforce to kids, like, if they want to work with animals, work with animals, because you can do it. It doesn't matter what form. Like, you can be a veterinarian, you can be a breeder. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just find your path and just shoot for it. And a lot of times when kids want to work with animals, I see it a lot of times where parents discourage the kid, and I hate seeing that, man, because they hold that kid from the potential of finding their passion. And yeah, I just want to see kids like you know, be happy and find their role in this world, because like I see it all too many times that people aren't happy with their lives, like, you know, and but that's because they're not doing what they love. And like me, I wake up, I feed all of my animals, and it makes me feel fulfilled. And so I found my calling. I'm always gonna work with animals of some sort. It doesn't matter, of any species. So that's just how it goes, man. Just staying on that right path, finding your calling, and just shooting for the stars. If you're gonna fail, you might as well shoot for the stars. And I mean,
100%. Might as well go
hope
for it.
you
If you
make it.
fail, at least you can say you tried.
Yeah, it's funny because
Yeah,
Georgia
exactly.
will laugh at me because I live in northern England, which is more like the country. Because you know how in the States, the southern is the country land, and the northern is like the cities. So I live by a country. I live in a country area, and I always tell my wife all the time, like, oh man, I just want to buy a property of land and just buy some sheep and like just like be a fucking farmer or something, just to like live off
Yeah,
my
man.
land.
The
Because my wife
PM
grows vegetables
ranch.
as well.
Do
I
it,
just be a
man.
freaking
Do it.
farmer. Like, come to my land. You get me?
Exactly.
It's
Dude, man,
beautiful though, man. That's
you
like the
you
dream.
sometimes you just gotta take that leap, and it's not gonna happen overnight. So you have to plant the seed now. Like I say, if like I want to start goats, right? If I go build a goat pen back there, I'm gonna have goats in there eventually. Like, you know, that's just how
Yeah.
you just have to start. You can't be scared. You can't be saying, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week." No, you start right now. You plant the seed with today. The faster that you plant it, the faster that the seed's gonna grow.
Your wife
All
must
That's
right, bro.
love
sure.
That's it. I
you.
gotta sell my
Your
house and buy a
wife
farm.
must
That's
love you.
it.
You must go,
Just
right.
invest in me. That's
I
it.
want to get a camel. She's sitting there thinking he's
I want
gonna
to get a
get
camel.
he's gonna get a camel. I know what he's like. He's gonna have 4 or 5 of them.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get
The
alpacas.
next
Yeah,
day, you got
yeah.
seven.
Guys, I'm crazy. She told me that she wanted to get back into rabbits, right? Like a year or two ago. And me, that's what I started on. I was breeding rabbits like for a profit at age 12. Like, you know, I'd sell them, and I'd buy Xbox games and stuff. So I was like, oh, you want to get into rabbits? So, dude, I drove like 5 hours to go
Pre-order
buy
some.
I used to buy, yeah, I drove 5 hours to buy a specific breed rabbit, and it's like I brought it home, and it was the best rabbit that you were gonna find, because I went for it. But like, you know, that's just me, man. Like, I gotta start with the best, and I'm not a rich man by any means, But if you just have to work hard for stuff. I'm not rich, but luckily I was blessed with good friends who helped me get the animals that I currently have, and you just gotta be appreciative of the hard work and what it took to get where you're at now. So, like I say, just don't be for the newcomers. Just don't be jealous. You're gonna get there one day. Just keep working at it. Just keep working at it.
Definitely. It's
Pretty
like
much.
you haven't necessarily got to come into this and buy the best. I mean, I always say to people, get the best you can get. But if you can't afford, like your best might be something like I can only spend $200 on two animals. That's absolutely fine. But those two animals you can work with and improve and hold back the best and then breed back. And then you'll move on to some of the offspring and get some more money and invest back into it. You haven't necessarily got to run into this with like, I've got 3K, I've got to get some good animals. It doesn't necessarily have to work like that. You can work. It might take you some years, but you will get there. And I find that's
where your friendships come along too, though. You get me? Where you build your friends with other breeders. And like, for example, me and you, George, like there's times where George gives me a Stonewash cross and I'll give him a G Project cross, or if he just sees something he likes and we just work on each other's projects, and then that right there helps you build your quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right off the rip, if, for example, if you're line breeding something, it's already third generation or something, you're like, oh, I need some outcross. George got that outcross for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
It's like
that's a beautiful thing.
This season you gave me, I remember I approached Peter, came to me with some ideas and stuff. I said, look, I've got this red diamond cross here. I think it'll do really well even with stonewash and stuff. It's a project I can't really do at the moment because of space and stuff. I can see a vision. Anyway, Peter messaged me. I was like, "Oh my god, you wasn't right. You wasn't wrong, dude. Look at this." And he ended up like gifting it to me. Like, I know you. This is going to give you a year ahead. So this is what it's all about. Yeah, this is what it's all about. But yeah, ending the podcast, Kristen. What would you say in 2023? What is going to be your standout? What should people be looking at your page and thinking, right? That's what he's going to be sort of not known for, but that's going to be your standout stuff. Like for me, it's Stonewash and Giant. So what would your thing this year be? Would you say it's going to be difficult for you?
They're all equal. I'm excited for all the projects because every project right now they have the numbers to back them up. Like I've got a couple of each project, and several, like a handful of for each project. So if stuff fails, like with one project, I got a backup for it, and it's another banger. So, and they're all bangers like at this point because Aaron was a genetic wizard. So we have a lot of good stuff. But I think I'll do top three is the Bengals, the reverse stripes, but the thick, that broad, that whole stripe, the whole back. I want perfect. I want that.
You need Stonewash. I need to send this guy some Stonewash because I've been seeing so much potential with this stuff, especially that thick band. Like, that was Stonewash. Yeah,
I could see it. I could see it too, George. So if you want to send me some, dude, I'll take it. And then third, probably my rainwaters. The rainwaters. I started working with them last year, and man, they're beautiful. So I have the foundation for some nice red stripe stuff, some red stripe rainwaters. So I'm excited for those three: the Bengals, the reverse stripes, and the rainwaters. Pretty much.
And when you say Bengals, do you mean Bengal like you're reproducing Bengals, or you're crossing them?
Both. Like I say, I've got that main line, and then I've got the subline of the process. So I'm running the pure Bengals. Yeah, I've got a 1.2 group of
Without
Bengals.
letting out too many secrets, what are some of those Bengal crosses you're thinking about doing?
Shoot, man.
You put me on the spot here.
Well, like I say, I showed one earlier. She's producing. Oh no, well, I showed you the male, but I've got a female that is she just started laying eggs. It's that foundation from the Bengal cross to the cotton candy, that reverse stripe.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping to get those reverse stripe Bengal cotton candy.
Nice.
Yeah. If those turn out good, I mean, the female's got a perfect stripe, the male's got a perfect stripe. So in theory, we should have perfect stripes, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that goes to roll the dice.
and since they already have that set gene pool, I feel like we're gonna hit some good stuff. But fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, but I'm excited for all of them. I've got red stripes, rainbow stripes, bells. I've got white and yellow bells that I just started this year. I had never worked with the bells, so but I'm starting to get into them. I feel like white and yellow bells with red stripe, that's like unmatched. That combination is just fascinating to me. So yeah, and then I've got some pastel lineage that we're pushing into some of the projects, and that pastel lineage seems to add so much color to like those to those reverse stripe projects. So we're running a separate line that's the reverse stripe, but with a pastel lineage. So yeah, man, I've got too many projects. Just time time will tell though. I've already started to collect eggs like a few weeks ago, so hopefully start to hatch out geckos here soon in the next week or two. But
exciting stuff. I can see how excited you are. But yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you for coming on today, Kristen. I'm a huge fan of your stuff. Do you want to give everyone a shout out where they can find you? Because we are predominantly a Europe podcast. We get more of you for Europe, Germany, Belgium. For people that are tuning in, where can they find you? And it'd be interesting. If somebody in Europe was interested in getting an animal from you, would exporting be something you would consider?
Yeah, definitely. I've exported down to Mexico. We've exported down to Nicaragua, but I've never gone over the pond. But if you guys were able to kind of walk me through that, I'd definitely be open to export. My goal is to have an animal in every state in the U.S. like shipped out to. So having one go out that way across to you guys, that'd be a dream of mine. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be like a humbling feeling. You know what I mean? I feel like that too. Like if somebody wanted one of my geckos from America to send it, be like, oh, that's so humbling. You know what I mean? Like, wow.
Like I would send it for free. Like I just want to know that that someone's working that line.
Chris, you got anything you want to plug?
What's that?
You got anything you want to plug for the podcast?
Oh yeah. Before I forget, we're running a mega giveaway that we collaborated with like 5 or 6 other breeders from the US. We're promoting ReptiPost. It's not a new site, but it was created by Gary Orner from Orner Exotics. Yeah, I love that social media platform. I respect everything that Gary's doing. So we had a couple friends. We all came together and we said that we're gonna do this giveaway because people need to join this website, man. It's awesome. It has a marketplace. You can upload video, photo. It's got everything. And we all talk about it all the time where Instagram cancels like these breeders and they lose their thousands like of followers and they lose all those photos that they had of their animals. So if we want to make a change, I mean, it all starts with a revolution. I mean, I say it like that. It's just like, and this website, it provides all that because you can sell animals safely without getting banned from Instagram and stuff like that. So the giveaway is going on. I donated a gecko. I'm donating a couple of USARK memberships. Other people don't. I think we have a total like 4 or 5 geckos.
Oh, nice.
We're giving out like 3 USARK memberships and then a bunch of breeders with store credits. So for anyone in the States, you guys got to join that giveaway, man. It's like who doesn't want to win free stuff? It's like and the prizes are awesome. It's like $200 store credit with for example like myself. So you can get a really nice project from me or from these other breeders. And the geckos that I'm putting up, the gecko I'm putting up, it's pretty nice too. So you guys are definitely going to want to join because if not,
what do you got to do to join?
To join, you pretty much go sign up to reptipost.com, create your account, and all that we're asking is post a picture of any animal, your animal, and hashtag USARK. And
nice.
Then we'll
heard that, guys.
We'll get you guys entered, and then so we're doing that giveaway, and then I'm gonna announce my 3rd giveaway. I'm about to hit 3,000 followers on Instagram, so I greatly appreciate all all that support. So I love doing my giveaways. It's my third one. I don't know. I just want to show my appreciation because if it weren't for the supporters that buy my geckos and associate with me, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So
it's like your way of giving back.
Yeah, and this giveaway, I'm probably going to give away like $500 store credit or something, and a couple of probably do 3 USARK memberships. Again, I love to give out those memberships. I'm a huge advocate for USARK. Every sale that I make, I donate 10% straight to them.
That's crazy.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know that I came off as real business-like, but money is not an object to me. Like, I don't care about money. Like, I donate everything to USARK. Like, anything else is just extra to me. So
you have to just want to say out loud to the end of the podcast.
Actually, yeah, guys. I've got this little short speech that I wrote down. It goes, the personality of a person, the ways of a person, the thoughts, the deeds, the actions, is all based around that person's heart. For what is a man? A man is his heart. A lying, cheating heart means a lying, cheating man. A loving, merciful heart means a loving, merciful man. A living heart means a living man. And a dead heart means a dead man. Regardless to man's title, regardless to man's wealth, rank, or position, if the man's heart is not great, then he cannot be great. But if the heart is great, then that man remains great under all circumstances, whether he's rich or poor, large or small. The heart is what makes someone who they are. It's everything that you do, the actions that you perform behind closed doors. You have to just be your heart's going to show who you truly are. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just be organic, be the person that you were meant to be, and yeah, just wake up and live that life that you want to live. Whatever brings you joy, that's all that matters.
Salute. That hits different.
Nice.
That
Nice
hits
indeed.
different. Salute.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Well, while we're closing on the end of the podcast, I would like to hear more from somebody from you. Could you explain a little bit about USARK and what? Because you see all the time people like, I'm a silver USARK member. Someone in Europe, I don't fully understand. I know it's some sort of group that help fight your rights to work with reptiles. So at the end of the day, it's really important for us Europeans to listen to this, because normally what happens in America, if America cancel people being able to work with animals, then normally UK follow suit. So whatever America does, England's not far behind. So it is very important for all of us to help with this USARK. So if you could explain a little bit for me about USARK, or for the listeners, and how they can donate, and how much does your donation really help?
So I always tell people that donations help, but it's more about the memberships, the numbers. Like, when USARK goes to advocate for us, when they go to Congress and they show them like we have like 5,000 members, they're not going to take us seriously. We need those numbers. So I always tell people, get those. There's like a $5 like a month one, or you could do the $40 one, which is a year. So I say that donations help because they pay for like lawyers and stuff when they do need it. But I think that being just a member helps more. So that's why I like to give those out. Like, I've got 3 memberships like myself, so it's the numbers that matter. But I mean, the government's always going to take stuff from us, guys. Like, they took alcohol from us back in the 1920s, and so who would have thought that they would take alcohol from the people, and sure enough, they took it. So nobody's safe, guys. The government's they're always going to try and take stuff from us, take our rights. But coming from America, I mean, it's our duty to stand up and and unite and, I don't know, fight for what's right, because we should all be able to do what we want to do, like, raise whatever animals we want to raise, and that's our right. It's our God-given right. Who is the government to tell us that we can't have a certain breed, and we can't ship them over state lines that were felonies, that were felons? Because it's crazy how government works, man. They try to pass these laws where if you cross an animal across state lines, you're going to be a felon. And I wouldn't say that I'm a felon. I think I'm a pretty good guy. It's just like
the gecko with, man. What's going on?
It's crazy, man. So we just gotta protect our rights, and if it takes that donation, I'm gonna donate what I can. Like I say, I'm not a rich man, but I feel like if I'm making money off these animals, the least that I can do is give back. So you just got to look at it from that aspect, and of course you can do it like as a tax write-off too. So what's the harm? I mean, just do it. Just donate.
Oh, George, is there a version of that in the UK?
So we don't have anything that's stopping our rights to work with animals, but we have other stuff, like we have a very small amount of reptiles in the UK, like naturally. So we have little charities that protect these animals and stuff. But so far, from my understanding, we don't have anything that is to help protect. I know like the IHS does a lot. Like, so technically our membership to the IHS will help go into stuff. Does that make any sense? So the IHS helps a lot with if someone comes along and says, we believe that people in the UK shouldn't be working with reptiles, the IHS go on to help fight against
that. Lawyers to fight the prosecution
yeah. It's like more, the IHS is more the people together. But they like Kristen said, they really want to take something away, they'll take something away. Look at Doncaster. Doncaster has been there for so many years. It's one of the oldest reptile shows in the world, the IHS Doncaster. I think it established in the 1700s or something, back when kings and queens were gifted reptiles and stuff as gifts. So but yeah, from my understanding, we don't have anything like USARK or anything like that. Maybe there should be something like that.
I'm saying, yeah.
But it's as a protection, as like this is going to be like almost like a charity, because they could come and take anything away from us. I think they actually cancelled a lot of king snakes in the UK. But we'll see what happens. But I want to say a huge thank you again, Kristen, everyone who's been listening to the podcast. Kristen is Texas Kid Reptiles. His giveaways on there. Please sign up to reptipost.com. There's loads. There's a giveaway, for God's sake, people. There's free stuff getting given away. And ReptiPost, I'm also on there. It is a Facebook page for reptiles. You got complete freedom. Yeah, you can post what you want. You can put prices. It's basically run by Gary, who is obviously a hobbyist breeder. And a business owner, I guess, in the USA, because I'm so used to saying hobbyist breeder in the UK. But yeah, no, go and check that page out. Thank you so much, Kristen, for coming on. And thanks a lot again, Peter, my co-host, my homeless man who's looking very homeless.
Looking raggedy today.
But yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Morphtastic podcast.
Appreciate it,
man. Good night, Chris. Have a good one.